What's up, manga fans, and welcome back to another review of Bleach. This week's chapter 651, the Theatre Suicide Scene 5. So, as predicted and expected, we got a very brief but very concise and informative flashback. And this flashback involves Koryaku, his Nonoa's mother, and the promise he made to her, along with the reveal of Nonoa's actual Zanpaktou. Now, this is something Kubo cannot help himself doing, and that is once again trolling. It never ceases to amaze me when he can just fit these in whenever he wants. I mean, last week's chapter pretty much had everyone believe, Koryaku's other Zanpaktou, Kyokotsu, the little girl, belonged to Nonoa, but in fact that was just a ploy. This is just a front that he put on, so the real truth was revealed in this chapter, and it's the fact that Kyokotsu actually was created from Kanten, the older woman, to basically hide Nonoa's Zanpaktou from her, which was the promise he made to Nonoa's mother. This was what he was told to do, because there was a curse that they believed killed off all men that married into her family, because her family bloodline could not produce any men, and any men that actually married into it died of unknown illness at a young age. So more or less, this is something she didn't want to happen to Nonoa, and this is the reason why she hasn't had a Zanpaktou. So yeah, her Zanpaktou, in my opinion, looks badass. We find out the name is Shinken Hakkyoken? Yeah, Shinken Hakkyoken, and it's supposedly a blade that's been, in my opinion, from what they're stating, it's a heirloom for Nonoa's family, and it's been passed down for ages, and it supposedly is a god slayer. In my opinion, the way this chapter is portraying it, it is able to destroy any divine being with it. And this is when I'm thinking, Kubo, did you really just do that again? Another convenient plot device to take down the enemy. We saw it in my Yuri's battle, but I wasn't expecting it here. I'm gonna let it slide. This is something that's expected. As I said, it shouldn't be accepted, but it's expected from Kubo. He does this convenient thing over and over again, so I'm not gonna be too riled up about it. I know a lot of other people are, but I'm not bothered. The sword design, I like it. It looks like Link's sword from Majora's Mask, the Gilded Sword, and I would love to see what that looked like in the anime, the color scheme and everything that's used for it. But the main reason I'm happy about this sword is the fact that it's Nonoa's. Even though it's kind of an ass-pull weapon that it can beat a god, the fact that she's going to get some action after all this time is enjoyable. I mean, she's more or less always been a support character. She's only used Kido. We've never seen her in any actual battle. So for her to take on a god, the deity, is going to be interesting. And I hope this will be the final battle. I don't want to see any more counter-attacks or, turning of the tables. So, there's not really much else to say about this chapter other than the fact that Koryaku was actually more invested in Nonoa's mother's life than we originally thought. His brother was married to her, and she tried to leave the family because there was obviously, as I said, the curse of men marrying into it and dying, but it still happened to him shortly after. So she returned to her family and gave the sword to Koryaku, trusting that the curse was the sword, and hopefully that Nonoa won't suffer the same fate. But now that the time's come to reveal the sword, she said that she will take it on regardless of the curse, and whoever she loved or adored would believe it's ridiculous. So I feel like this was pretty much a kind of confession to Koryaku. I mean, I know a lot of people have been shipping this for a while, but I'm pretty sure she's pretty much saying, I'm going to take this sword. The person who I adore, love, will probably think the same and know that this is not going to kill them. So yeah, I said I'm interested to see what this is actually going to do, because it says that when a divine being is touched by it, it just disperses them. It's like it brings it in and disperses them into something. So is this going to be a one-shot kill, or are we going to see some, like, a bit of a brawl between Nonoa and Lille before, or is it just literally just going to be one swipe and that's it, done with? But speaking of Lille, he looked damn weird in this chapter today. I did not think his form could be any weirder, but he completely stretched his face out like a pancake looking for them, and he was look curious. It's like, oh, they're hiding in the shadows of Koryaku's ability. So he lights up the ground thinking that they're in his distorted shadow, and in fact Nanao comes out of the shadow between his forehead, and that's when she reveals the sword in all its glory. So that part was badass. I would love to see what that would look like animated, but it's just really good to see her in action. And I'm just curious about the age difference between Koryaku and Nanao, because a lot of people are getting confused thinking that Nanao is Koryaku's niece, but that wouldn't make sense because Koryaku's been around for about 2,000 years. I don't think she was born back then. I don't even think I think she's probably barely 100. And the fact that the marriage, he said he died shortly after marriage. I'm pretty sure they didn't conceive a child. So, yeah, I doubt they're related. I don't think they're blood related at all. The only relation that's between them is between their mother, obviously, through that. The whole Shinto clan, as I forgot to mention, that was interesting because we know Shinto is a religious kind of society in Japan, and whatever the Hakkyoken was originally made for, what divine beings were they cutting down before? What did they need it for? So I kind of was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, the Soul King's limbs are missing. Did they cut the Soul King in pieces to, you know, separate the dimensions and stuff? Is that what they were there for? Because if it was, I would like that kind of link up. I love consistencies like that. But as I said, that's just kind of a theory I'm throwing out there. But they obviously had it for centuries. I mean, this sword is being passed down. It's not actually belonging to one single person. So maybe it even is older than, you know, the Zanpaktou and the Asuchi that's created by Nimao himself. As I said, that would be interesting to go into that. But other than that, there's not really much else we can say. I know I keep saying that, but as I said, this chapter is very short, to the point, and as I said, it was interesting that everything was all cleared up now. So we know that Nanao has a god like or god banishing Zanpaktou, and Koryaku, both of the dual swords belong to him. There's just more trickery and trolling from Kubo. So yeah, as I said, I know a lot of people are not very fond of, you know, Kubo doing his typical convenient plot win thing. I'm used to seeing stuff like this. It's nothing special to me. I just was more interested in the character development of Nanao and Koryaku, seeing their past history with, you know, Nanao's mother, and whatever else. The whole Shinto clan, as I said, will most likely link up to the Soul King. So yeah, that's more or less it. I enjoyed this chapter. I can't wait to see if we're gonna have a decent battle next week with Nanao versus Lille. And I just want to see what battle will come after that. So you guys, as usual, if you enjoyed this chapter, let me know what you think in the comment box below, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Take care.